few days ago, we gave you a look inside Exercise Maple Resolve, the largest training event for the Canadian Army. Among the many moving parts of the exercise is the 2nd Regiment Royal Canadian Horse Artillery. Here's a look inside the gun pit. Their job is to provide the 2nd Canadian Mechanized Brigade Group with any indirect fire support.
Fire that we can provide from far back. So our range essentially for this exercise has been made 25 kilometers, and it's about equal with our actual range in real life with the normal rounds we have. The importance of indirect fire is that if we have friendly troops that are in contact, that indirect fire can be provided from far back. It's a lot of firepower, and it can help to turn the tide of a battle in our favor if we need to do that quickly.
But before any moves are made, you wait for orders. On every gun line, there's a command post. It's how communication is made with the rest of the brigade. Anytime a fire mission is called, it comes through this post, where officials inside will handle that call, put it into their system, and turn it into data that the gunners can use.
Get the guns laid onto a specific target, and then that moment of fire, or however the fire has come down, is controlled through essentially an intercom system built into the command post that's run out to each of the guns, so that when we speak, they can hear everything and they can respond to those fire orders.
This is the M777 howitzer. Currently on a defensive firing position, the gun is already laid, and if they were firing live, it would be ready to go. These weapons can be put anywhere, and using the digital gun management system ensures accuracy.
This is more of an accurate system because the gun can fixate itself and actually align itself, so orientation is all pretty much just going through the screen through the actual INU, the internal navigation unit.
And this is what happens when the command post receives data from a forward observer and issues that to the guns.
That allows them to lay onto any specific bearing, or correction, any specific location they want, based on the bearing and elevation of the gun. We do take into account what we call non-standard conditions, so that's the atmospherics or anything that changes day by day. We have a section that's with us that will provide met balloons, and then provide us with data that we input into our computing system to make those rounds more accurate.
As for Adam Zach, he says while everyone here is prepared to deal with the challenges of the exercise, the training is still extremely valuable.
It's not every day that we get to deploy in support of the brigade with the brigade units actually in the field with us. So it does bring on a lot more coordination, a lot more integration that's required with the brigade.
Well, once again, Lakeland College is partnering up with Wainwright to bring students more programs. A few accounting technician instructors will be going to Wainwright High School Tuesdays and Thursdays to teach 8 of the 10 classes, while the other 2 will be online, something Lakeland hasn't done before.
We have great programming here on the Lloydminster campus. It allows us to share that with other communities as well. So I think it's a win-win.
The blended course will be an 8-month program, and they'll be hosting an information session in Wainwright on June 7th. It's not confirmed yet, but the college would like to offer the program every 2 to 3 years. Well, students and staff at Bishop Lloyd School enjoyed an afternoon of celebrating and learning about First Nations culture. The school held its 3rd annual Indigenous Cultural Discovery Day with a variety of activities on and off campus. Students had 15 Indigenous events and activities to choose from, such as hide tanning, warrior games, teepee teachings, and more.
This year, it's a more intensive approach where the students are spending the entire afternoon learning one thing as opposed to moving from one event to the other and getting just a taste of it.
While the students had plenty of fun, education was still the primary goal.
I think it's important that we learn about them and respect their beliefs and culture.
Even if students don't realize that that's the primary focus of this, if they walk away having developed a bit more empathy and understanding, that's a priority for our committee.
Some of the activities took students off campus to locations such as Sandy Beach and Bud Miller Park. Well, a fire demo and the annual Bee Fisher Color Run are just a couple of events planned for this weekend. Brian Lentz says more in this week's edition of What's Happening.
Hello everyone, I'm Brian Lentz filling in for Heather Clagus. Now this weekend is shaping up to be quite a busy one, starting with the Lloydminster Rescue Squad and the Britannia Fire Department teaming together to show to you what they can do. There will be demos to see what their drones are up to, there will be search dog demos as well, and there's even a bouncy castle for your kids. Lunch is served from 11 to 2 p.m, so be sure to check it out just east of town. Well, if you're wanting to add some color to your weekend, then be sure to check out the Color Within 5K Walk and Run. It's a fundraiser for the B. Fisher Foundation, and you start out with a white shirt before getting bombarded by all shades of the rainbow as you cross the finish line. Now that's at Bud Miller Park this Saturday. And if you're a country music fan and you would wish to catch the James Parker Band as they cross the country on tour, but you can't quite make it, well, we have a solution for you. You can always pick up their newest EP, The Game On. It features some of their most popular tunes, Lawn Chair Lazy and Just Sayin'. If you would like the CD, then send us your name and daytime phone number to tvcontests@newcap.ca. And as always, we'd like to thank John with Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. Spring is finally here in the border city, and that means the rain is falling, the sky will clear up eventually, and that means that the outdoor farmers market is opening up here in Lloydminster. It takes place every Saturday and Thursday in the parking lot to the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Center. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a good one. I'm Brian Lentz, and that is what's happening.
This is Newcap Sports.
Over the last 3 years, the Bonnyville Pontiacs have sent 43 players to NCAA Division I schools on hockey scholarships, ranking amongst the top in the CJHL. Last weekend, Lance Phillips caught up with 2 of those 43 players after their first year in the NCAA.
After playing their first year with Arizona State University, Brinson and Steen Pashnuk returned home Friday to a place that launched their hockey careers. It was a great opportunity to reflect on their first year as Sun Devils.
It was unreal, you know, it was a dream come true. Going down there, I didn't really know what to expect, you know, especially being from a small town of 6,000 people, then going to a university campus with 80,000 people is a bit of a culture shock.
Definitely takes like a week or two to adapt for sure. Then once you realize I'm actually here, you get to start enjoying everything, and it's by far the best place that I've ever been. I love it there. I didn't want to move back. Let's just say that.
School life wasn't the only adjustment for the Bonnyville natives. Life on the ice was also a change, coming from a league where the brothers found great success.
It was a little bit of an adjustment for sure, going from junior A to NCAA, and it was our first year in NCAA, so it's not like we came in a powerhouse team. We had to kind of adapt, and hockey went well though for our first year. You know, we beat some teams that we shouldn't have beat.
It met every expectation of mine, you know, games fast pace, our coaching staff, unbelievable, you know, so caring, they're there for you.
To see those guys as Bonnyville players and then be such significant leaders and then move on to a higher level, it means so much for the town, it means so much for the organization.
The two were fortunate enough to play junior hockey together in a place both feel contributed greatly to their hockey success.
You know, there was some people telling me not to go to my hometown. There might be some distractions, but I said, you know what, I'm going to. This has been my dream my whole life. So when I did, I met Rick and Larry, and they changed my hockey career. And I give them so much credit for the reason I am where I am today.
Beating the Lloydminster Bobcats in overtime to make Pontiac history is by far, you know, one of the best nights of my life. 100%. Just listening to that crowd go crazy for something that they've wanted for so long was definitely one of the better memories I've had here.
To have 2 local kids that come in and make such a significant impact on the ice, it means everything for the Bonnyville Pontiacs organization, because that's why they exist, in order to create success with the local players that live here. But to have 2 guys to make such a significant impact as the face of our organization will be remembered forever.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Bonnyville.
Well, both Lloydminster Comprehensive Barons rugby teams are working towards provincial berths, and our Lance Phillips is at Armstrong Field for a rare local late May tournament. Lance.
Thanks, Nicole. It was a beautiful day in Lloydminster for the Barons Sevens rugby tournament. 16 teams made their way to Armstrong Field today, and for the local teams, the placements that they had weren't exactly what they were looking for. The boys team finished 6th out of 8, and the girls slightly better with a 3rd place finish. Yet, despite that, both coaches made mention that the competition they faced today wasn't exactly what they were hoping for. In fact, for Steve Patriciak and the boys team, today was more about skill development.
So what I liked was probably the reaction to quick ball, the ability to sense space and attack quickly. So that's what I saw just in that last game was, yeah, the ability to see an opportunity and then attack quickly versus being a little bit more passive. I think that's probably the number one thing I saw.
Besides skill development, there was more good news for the boys team today, where Patriciak mentioned that Fort Mac has dropped out of zones, which means the Barons are automatically into the provincial tournament. And for both these teams, the competition that they so desperately are seeking may come tomorrow in the form of Notre Dame in a doubleheader with the girls game getting underway at 9:30.